guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. New Mexico State's postgame press conference featuring Aggie head men's basketball coach Chris Jans. We'll go ahead and switch over to Chris here in just a minute. Here.
Okay.
Coach, just first kind of an opening statement about tonight's game here in Phoenix.
Ooh. Disappointed in the results. It's not what we set out to do. Certainly dug ourselves a hole in the conference race. And we talked to our team about how big a game this was. We didn't hide behind anything. We said, hey, this is a huge game for us after losing last night, and we've got to find a way to eke out a win and split this first WAC series. And obviously that wasn't the result, and it's just disappointing. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Chris, where are you
Questions?
going to get the offense from? I mean, I know it's rusty and stuff, but where's the offense going to come from? Jabari's still dealing with maybe a little bit of injury, not as explosive, but it was a little apparent tonight that there was really a lack of offense. Maybe you can elaborate.
Yeah, I would say 2 nights in a row there was some lack of offense. We didn't have a very good weekend offensively. I think we got plenty of guys that can score the ball. We got plenty of guys that can shoot the ball. We got guys around the basket that I think can, draw some double teams and, score in one-on-one situations. But we just haven't done it. We actually haven't done it all year long. Whatever. I guess it's a season. I say that, but it just doesn't feel like a regular type season. But I don't know. And we're just not shooting the ball very well. And kids are human. Everybody's human. And when you don't shoot the ball very well and it becomes an issue, it affects how you do everything else. It affects how you rebound. It affects how you defend. It affects how locked in you are to the scout. And I think there was some of that during some spells of tonight's game. I don't think they ever quit on it. They kept fighting and, competing, et cetera. But we had some spells where we were frustrated on offense because the ball wasn't going the hole and it bled over to the defense. And that's when, in my opinion, they stretched the lead, and it was just too much for us to get ourselves back in the game.
I mean, Coach, obviously that a lack of offense got to come too, but just with not playing as many games, obviously too, that just the lack of obviously the transition. I mean, it's not an excuse because it's something that has happened to you. I mean, just the lack of game time is probably a big factor for that lack of offense this weekend.
Yeah, that's reality. I mean, sure. My goal and what I had in my mind is, we're going to come down here and shock everybody. We're going to come down here and, bust out of the gate and play well and get some momentum. And, we knew there were big games. We didn't hide behind it. Our first 2 conference games were postponed, and certainly would like to play some other ones prior to this game, but that wasn't in the cards. And, one of my favorite phrases in life and one that I really believe in is you can't teach experience. You just can't. People don't know what they don't know until they've gone through things and had to deal with a little bit of adversity, et cetera. And the same is for sports, and in particular basketball. You can't teach experience. And certainly we have guys that have got experience, but this team, doesn't. And in my warped mind, I thought we could come down here and overcome that. I thought we could come down here and win both. I mean, certainly after last night, it was more about trying to split the series. And we made it out to a big game. We didn't shy away from it. It wasn't like, hey, the season's over. But, it was a Super Bowl for us in terms of how badly we needed to win this game going forward. And we didn't. So now we dug ourselves a hole, and we're going to figure out, what we're about, this particular team, and trying to fight back out of that hole and try to get better this week and play better this Friday and Saturday.
Hey, Chris, I know certainly can tell if it's a tired legs kind of thing or if they're bad shots or anything like that. But the second half of both of your games, 19% in the second half last night shooting, 30%, and you hit 2 of your final 14 tonight. I'm curious, how much of that is a team that was on pause, which is the reality? How much of that was poor shooting? I know some of it's at the end when you're behind, you might be putting up shots you may not like, but how much of this is a team that's just tired because they haven't played much, and how much of it is, just not good shots and just not falling?
I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but I would say there's a combination of things that probably lead to that. And a lot of coaches say this, but I believe it. Shooting's contagious. Shooting's contagious for free throws, for threes. There's something about that momentum that runs through your program or your team on certain nights. And when that ball goes through the basket, the energy is uplifting and everybody else wants to get in on the act. And we just haven't had those stretches all year long, to be honest with you, regardless of who we were playing. We just really haven't had a game where, it just felt like we were flowing and the ball was going through the hole. It boosted our confidence. And last night after the game, I told our staff, hey, the silver lining is we didn't waste anybody's really good performance. Because as a coach, I can't stand when someone goes off and has a big game and then you lose and you wasted it. And I said, hey, we didn't have that, and unfortunately, we didn't have it again. You don't plan for that. You don't game plan for that. In the back of your mind, you're maybe thinking, hey, who's going to get hot tonight? But you don't plan on it. You just, you do your best to try to win the game without that happening. But, it happens all the time. And it's just not happening for us. We got, in my opinion, plenty of guys that can shoot the ball. And I'm not going to name names, but I told them in the locker room, you're not shooting with confidence. You're not shooting like you're trying to make it. And it was disappointing. I can see it just because I know them. I'm in practice every day with them. And I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, okay? I'm not. I've got to do better. I've got to run better stuff. I've got to get them in better space and all that. But, at some point, you got to step up and make shots, and especially when they're open. Otherwise, it's hard to win college basketball games.
Coach, obviously, the story with this team right now is the lack of game experience, and I know you touched on that, but just how do you combat that now? Obviously, playing games is how you kind of get to that level, but between now and Friday when you guys get back on the floor, what needs to happen, I guess, in practice to try and catch up to the rest of the country, I guess?
I don't know if I said this last night or not, but for me, it's gaining more trust and more players. People that have followed our programs, we don't have guys very often playing 36, 35, 30, 32. We don't. That's not how our program usually is. Now, I'm fine with whatever. I prefer to play more guys, less minutes, and have them just frothing at the mouth to get on the court and give everything they got, knowing that they're not going to be out there that long. But our staff and myself included, for whatever reason, at this point, we don't have as much trust and confidence in as many guys as we normally do. And that's frustrating. So to get better by Friday, we've got to get more trust. And they've got to do that in practice. They've got to, and it's different for everybody. One guy maybe, doesn't understand the system and he's got to spend more extra time learning everything. One kid's just not as focused in practice every day, or it doesn't compete as hard as we want, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to play more guys, and we need to play more guys because it's a long year. So to get better quicker, we need to get some more guys to step up and get confidence, and they do that from us and earn it. And then I think that will help everybody up and down the roster.
Coach, any positives what on your end to take away from this weekend coming back?
Not really. It's bottom line business, and we're 0-2, and we haven't won a Division I game all year long, and it's going to be February. You know, hopefully we'll win one in February, but we haven't yet. Certainly not. You know, if you had told me that this spring or summer, I would have, you know, asking what's going on in your head there. But you know, it's a crazy storyline. You know, the Aggies haven't won a Division I game, and it's going to be February before they do, and we all know why. But it's a very weird feeling. It's a very odd feeling. You know, it felt like college basketball down here. I'll say that. The environment, you know, the competition, that felt great. Certainly, you know, we're very, very disappointed in the outcome. But we'll learn from it. We'll grow from it. We'll get better from it. These kids, I believe in these kids. I think they believe in each other. I think they're bought into the program. And we just got to come together and really have a good week of practice and play a really good team. I haven't watched any film on them, but other than a little bit, you know, here and there when we were in the Phoenix bubble, you know, seeing games randomly. But I know they're good. The other coaches have told me that they're really good, and their coaching staff does a good job, and we've had some battles with them. So we'll have our work cut out preparing for next weekend.
Anything else for Coach here tonight, guys?
I have one more, Coach. I know you said it felt like college basketball, and I know you also touched on it last night, but just what were your thoughts on just kind of how GCU handled kind of expanding capacity for kind of this game? And obviously, you guys aren't able to play in your home arena, so first time really seeing that many fans. Just kind of what were your thoughts about all that?
Just brutally honest, I don't really pay that much attention to what's going on in my surroundings. I'm trying to coach my team and try to keep the distractions at a minimum as best I can. I don't know. I don't think people that are here, like talking to my wife last night, etc. She's like, you know, people back home talk about how many fans are in the building, but the cutouts is what makes it visually look like there's that many fans in there. You know, there's, I think, less than 1,000 total fans, but from what people have told me, how it looks on TV, it just seems like there was more people, and it certainly, I mean, it wasn't nearly as loud as we played here in the past, but you know, from the games we played in thus far, and most of them I've seen on TV, which sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, they've done a good job with making it feel like and look like as close to a home environment, you know, as you can during these COVID times. You know, I haven't been in the gym that we're going to play at in my whole life next weekend. So, you know, it's going to be like a neutral site game at best, which will probably be the case for us all year long. And certainly we'll have a big chapter in the book when we write that book about this season for sure.
Any other questions tonight, guys? Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Chris,
Travels, Coach.
Charlie.
You bet.